All right, let's just jump right in. Because hiding inside your own brain cells is this absolutely wild story. It's a secret about an ancient viral intruder that might just be the very reason you can remember things long term. Today, we're going to unpack the incredible journey of a single gene called ARC.
So before we get to the truly bizarre stuff, let's start with a basic question. How do our brain cells, our neurons, actually communicate with each other?
For a long time, the textbook answer has been pretty simple. Neurons pass messages using these chemicals called neurotransmitters. They're released from one neuron, they shoot across this tiny little gap called the synaptic cleft, and then they're picked up by the next one. This is pretty much the foundation of neuroscience as we know it.
But what if I told you that wasn't the whole story? Not even close. It turns out our neurons have another way of talking to each other. A method that is so out of left field, it's forcing scientists to rethink how the brain works, period.
And at the heart of this entire mystery is one specific gene. It's called ARC. Now, scientists have known it was important for a while, but they had no idea what its true and, frankly, strange identity really was.
So, what exactly is the ARC gene? Well, its full name is a bit of a mouthful, activity-regulated cytoskeleton-associated protein. Yeah, you don't need to remember that. What you do need to know is that its job is to help strengthen the connections between brain cells. And those stronger connections, that's the physical basis of how we form lasting memories.
And look, there's solid proof for ARC's role in memory. But it turns out that known function was just scratching the surface of a much deeper and weirder story.
So back in 2000, a key study really put ARC to the test. Here's what they did. Researchers took two groups of rats. They gave one group a compound that basically just switched off the ARC gene. Then they trained all the rats to find a hidden platform in a water maze. Simple enough, right?
So what happened when they tested them 2 days later? Well, the control group, they remembered where the platform was, no problem. But the rats with their ARC gene turned off, they really struggled. It was crystal clear. You take ARC out of the equation, and the ability to form long-term memories just falls apart.
Okay, so ARC is crucial for memory. We've established that. But this is where the story takes a massive, unexpected turn. Fast forward to 2018. Researchers at the University of Utah are studying ARC, and they stumble onto something that, well, it just seemed impossible.
The big aha moment came when they got a really good look at the protein that the ARC gene creates. Because what they saw under the microscope did not look like any normal brain protein they had ever seen before.
They saw these strange little packages, and in their own words, they were looking at structures that looked, and I quote, weirdly like capsids. You know, those little protein shells that viruses use to protect their genetic code. This was the first major clue that something really wild was going on.
And the similarities just kept getting crazier. So a retrovirus is a type of virus that packs up its genetic code and delivers it to other cells. Let's do a little checklist. Does the ARC protein form a protective shell, a capsid, just like a virus? Yep. Does it then package its own genetic material, its RNA, inside that shell? It sure does. And then, most mind-blowing of all, does it shuttle that entire package from one brain cell to another? Absolutely. It doesn't just look like a virus, it literally acts like one.
Which, of course, leads to a gigantic question. How in the world did a gene that behaves like a virus end up in our brains, helping us think and form memories? Well, the answer is an epic evolutionary tale that's hundreds of millions of years old.
If you trace its genetics back, you find an astonishing origin story. Hundreds of millions of years ago, a retrovirus infected one of our very distant ancestors. Its genetic code got stitched into that ancestor's DNA. And over countless generations, it was passed down and eventually repurposed. Our brains literally hijacked a piece of an ancient virus and put it to work making memories. Our brains tamed a virus.
And get this isn't some tiny little fluke of evolution. Some scientists estimate that as much as 8% of the entire human genome might have come from ancient retroviruses just like the one that gave us ARC. That means, in a very real sense, we are all part virus.
Now, this discovery isn't just a cool fact for your next trivia night. It's opening up a completely new way of thinking about brain health and disease right now. And it presents both some pretty big risks and some incredible new possibilities.
It's really a double-edged sword. On the one hand, if ARC acts like a virus, could it accidentally be spreading bad stuff too? Like the toxic proteins we see in diseases like Alzheimer's? It's a serious question. But on the other hand, if ARC is a natural delivery system for brain cells, could we maybe hijack it for good? Could we use these little viral capsids as a Trojan horse to sneak medicine directly into our neurons? The potential there is it's revolutionary.
So all of this leaves us with one last huge question. The story of ARK proves that we've taken an ancient virus and used it to help build our own minds. It just makes you wonder, what other ancient secrets are still hiding deep inside our DNA, quietly shaping the very core of who we are today?